So thank you so much. And I think he almost done about the presentation of Icare sustainability, which has been done such a fantabulous job in the humanitarian world and humanitarian field as well. So let's move forward. And we are delighted to have another keynote speaker today. And if I'm going through his profile, which is really, really remarkable. So he has been appointed the Senior Research Fellow at Strathmore University, Nairobi, Kenya. And he's also the visiting professor at Mary University of Science and Technology, Must, Kenya. He's also a proud member of Loss and Damage Collaboration Group and the fossil fuel non-profit proliferation charity. And without further ado, let's welcome the great speaker and another keynote speaker of the today, Dr. Honorable Ioannis Tsipouridis. Pardon me if I pronounced wrong. So, the Honorable.
It was a good effort. It was a good effort. It was a good effort. Good evening from Nairobi. Happy to be among your midst. It's really great, and I'm really happy to be here. I've been watching all week COP29, and I just interrupted to attend this meeting. And let me tell you that for me, it's more important what you guys do than what is happening at COP29, for two reasons. First of all, what you try to do, and I should mention in this instance, Carol and her amazing work, you produce results, and you produce results with very few funding, if any at all. COP29, on the other hand, has totally, like all 29 COPs rather, not only COP29, have totally failed to give what we expected and it was set up to do. And as it's going on, it's another greenwashing exercise, a lot of hot air pledges, a lot of empty words, a lot of speeches that mean absolutely nothing, because in the end, they don't take the action that's necessary. And that's, the results of any action is not measured in the number of pledges or in the number of beautiful words written or delivered, is measured in degrees Celsius of rising temperature and weather events, how extreme they are and how badly they affect the millions of vulnerable communities around the world. The fact of the matter is that climate change is here. Climate change is here to stay. It's not going to be just a year or two. It's going to be for a few decades. Climate change is going to get worse before it gets better. The 1.5, the holy 1.5 degrees Celsius has been surpassed already. 2024 is going to be the hottest year ever. According to the scientists themselves, they expect the temperature to rise above 2.5 degrees, which is really hell on earth. It's going to be hell on earth. What happened in Valencia is something that's going to be the order of the day. Why? Because infrastructure does not exist. The infrastructure of our cities was not even good enough to sustain the climate that was before. The infrastructure we have cannot sustain the climate that has come. And that's even worse as we go from north to south. Emergency services do not exist, especially in the south. So what you do at community level has become extremely important. That's why your work is really to be praised and to be supported any way possible. From now on, you have to really work on adaptation and resilience. Mitigation has failed badly because mitigation is moving according to what the market dictates. And because it doesn't make enough revenue so far, that's why renewables are still, we're doing great, but we're not doing great enough. As we're speaking right now, 75% of total final energy consumption still comes from fossil fuels. 75% of total final energy consumption. We're doing great in electricity, but that's not enough. And because SDGs were mentioned and they're part of the reason to be of this initiative, SDGs are failing badly. Last year, which was the half point mark for the 2030 end of the road for SDGs, only 12% of the 170 targets have been achieved. They are failing. Why are they failing? Because companies are using them for greenwashing. I'm sorry I'm painting a very ugly picture, but it is a very ugly picture. And not knowing is not going to help you. You should know what you are up against, and that makes your work even more important. And you should be congratulated that it's amazing, raising awareness, building capacity, and getting ready to face what is coming. And what is coming is ugly. I don't think I should say much more because I had prepared a presentation, but all the diagrams, one after the other, are really painting a very bleak picture. I will share the presentation with you, Carolyne. You can send it to the teams because it contains a lot of data. It's all UNFCCC data. Actually, what happens before of every COP, they publish the latest reports of the state of the climate. So let's say, for example, the emissions. For the past years, I mean, everywhere you listen, people claim that we're doing this and we're doing that to reduce emission. Yes, yet 2023 emissions rose. 2023. And they're projected to rise 2024. So what's happening? In Baku, the president of the country mentioned yesterday that oil and gas are gifts of God. And if they're gifts of God, they cannot be tampered with. We said we should use them and be thankful. At least he didn't say that coal was a gift of God. Those guys signed new oil and gas exploration agreements in front of our eyes within COP29. 1,700 fossil fuel lobbies are present there. So enough of that. This is the bad news. The good news is you are the best news. What communities do is really great, and you should do even more. I'll be happy to continue my support, whatever I can give to you guys. I'm really proud to be in that. Thank you, Carolyne, for inviting me to be part of this effort. And I hope one day to see you. I'm in Nairobi. I'm not that far from some of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your words of wisdom. And yes, that words of sharing the current scenario of the clean energy adaptation. So I have a small question to you as well. That can you please share that according to your experience, what are the barriers of clean energy adaptation? Main key barriers.
Can you repeat it, please? I cannot hear the question.
Yeah, sure. What are the key barriers to keep clean energy adaptation?
The key barriers are that people continue to. It's going to be a long answer. What brought us to this mess is the development and growth model that we used. That development and growth model depending on exploiting the environment without any cost and also exploiting the people. But let's leave that for the moment out of it. What they try to do, they're using the same model of growth. They have to make money in order to really produce the clean energy results that are needed to keep the temperature below that limit. That 1.5 was not a target to reach and surpass, was a limit to avoid. It's time to stop thinking about revenues. The cost, the climate cost is far greater than any money we can spend to avoid it. That has been settled by Lord Stern in 2006. The cost of climate change is far more than the money that are needed to stop the temperature rising. So it's a matter of the market, my friend, and the stock exchange. They're not listening to science. Science is not really having a say in this.
Absolutely.